Well, people, we have a new Jurassic Park film in the world. So, yeah, I decided to go check it out. It is directed by Gareth Edwards. It is written by David Koepp. The film is produced by Frank Marshall, Patrick Crowley, executive produced by Dennis L. Stewart, Jim Spencer, and Steven Spielberg. Janine Moda is co-producer, and line production from Winston Azzopardi. Alexandra Desplat took care of the music. Jonathan Matheson is on cinematography. Right, Jabez Olsen edits the piece, with Gina J taking care of all the castings, you know. We have James Klein on production design. Art direction is Andrew Ackland Snow, Bill Ambrose, Andrew Bennett, Sesco Bonelli, Alex Cameron, Charlo Daly, Gavin Fitch, Daniel Frank, Mark Harris, and Gary Joplin. Rob Cameron was set decoration. Sammy Sheldon is costume design. Bum, bum, bum. And let's go to our cast. Okay, so Zora Bennett is played by Scarlett Johansson. Her team: Duncan Kincaid, played by Mahershala Ali. There is Nina, played by Philippine Velge. Leclerc, played by Bechir Sylvain. Bobby Atwater, played by Ed Skrein. Yeah, that's all of them. We now have got Martin Krebs, played by Rupert Friend. Dr. Henry Loomis, played by Jonathan Bailey. Then there's Ruben Dalagio, played by Manuel Garcia-Rulfo. His eldest daughter, Teresa, played by Luna Blaise. His younger daughter, Isabella, played by Audrina Miranda. And Teresa's boyfriend, Xavier Dupes, played by David Iacono. Okay, so Williams is played by Adam Loxley. DeSanto, played by Nim Finlay. There's Van Dirks Barman, played by Julian Edgar. The helicopter pilot, played by Lucy Thackeray. Cop, played by Billy Smith. The helicopter co-pilot, played by Johnny Lavelle. The gist of the story: 5 years post Jurassic World Dominion. Right, let's go again. 5 years post Jurassic World Dominion, an expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. So, yeah, that is the gist of things, people. Now, like this franchise, I enjoyed. The first film was a lot of fun, right? That was a lot of fun. Everything since has just been a bit dumb, right? Like, just, it never really makes a lot of sense, right? You've got kids involved, and you're just like, wait, why would the kids be here? You know, you always have the same scenarios, And so it just gets a little repetitive. And then they had that, oh, you can talk to the dinosaurs in the last few ones, which was just bonkers, right? It was bonkers. But, you know, because we try and bring you everything, we want to check this one, right? And I will say, I was going to say the beginning, because we open up with this whole lab situation, right? Because you have to have an incident that creates, you know, the reason for certain dinosaurs to be doing what they're doing. So we see this lab incident, and I think this is set before the original Jurassic Park, essentially, right? It happened ages ago. But even, which is one of them things, right? So they're developing these even bigger dinosaurs, but it's only now that anyone knows. And you kind of think, after all these other films, there would be like, I feel there's another secret. I feel there's, you know, but nothing like that at all. Anyway, that's kind of beside the point, right? So we then are with oh yeah, well, you know, a doctor. He's basically traveling. Well, not the exec is traveling, and that's when Zora like meets up with him and they talk, and he's like, we're doing this expedition. They then meet up with the doctor, right, to kind of go, okay, and so we need you, right? So now we have Henry Loomis, Martin Krebs, and Zora Bennett. All, they know each other now, right? So we have this, and then we jump to this family who are taking this boat trip. Right, so we've introduced our main principals. Zora goes to put a team together, so that's when we meet, you know, the rest of them. Duncan, LeCook, Nina, Bobby. Right, so we're now on our journey. And the very beginning part, right, when they're talking to Loomis, because it's just like, man, no one cares about dinosaurs anymore. And you'd be like, all of that makes sense, right? Because after a while, you know, you can imagine dinosaurs suddenly back in the world. Everyone will want to go see them. Everyone will want to check them out and be like, wow, what's this? But after seeing stuff on the news, you know, they've already invaded New York, they've done all these other things, people are a bit like, yeah, we know what they are now. Right, so obviously these exhibitions will be waning off. People's interest is gone. So all of that, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. All right, okay. What are we gonna do with this? Where are we going? But then it's this whole, obviously, corporation wants to do this medical research, and so they need. We get all of this, and you're just a bit like, I feel we've done this before. Right, I think we've done this before. Even the whole incident to get more money, just, it's kind of flat, right? There's so much of this that just feels a little flat, right? Like it's devoid energy. We have got big dinosaurs doing their thing and attacks and potential attacks and all of it. We have all of that, and you're like, okay, that's all fine, but there's no heart to the film, right? That feels like it's the big thing. Where's the heart to this? Where's the reason for me to care? Like, you introduce these characters like Teresa's boyfriend, and that whole thing is just, Like, Xavier feels like such a caricature, right? That it's just like, oh, we'll have him be antagonistic, or have him be, and you're just like, firstly, if you planned out this journey, you've got to be, it would have been really like brought home. This is the important things we have to do for this shit to work. We're on a small fucking boat. That's the thing. You're on a small boat. I don't know if you're bringing your fucking daughter's boyfriend so you can hear them bang because the quarters are gonna be tight. Like, no, I don't feel anyone's doing that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, the character's just stupid. And later in the film, like, there's a moment of like, oh, I can see who you are now, and just all of this stuff. It's just nonsense. Because firstly, one good deed does not make a good person, right? But it's these things that happen over months and years, and all of that suddenly happen in a space of, you know, minutes, essentially, right? So they're not doing anything to build up any sort of empathy with the audience. So we have that. There's this moment between frigging Zora and Duncan, and again, there's no real heart to it, right? It's talking about like the personal side of things, and oh, how are you, and it's, oh, this is going, oh, this is going, and you're just like, what is this scene, right? What is it for? It's literally doing nothing for me, and it just feels like waste, right? It feels like a dead husk, right, on a fucking, you know, desert plain. That's what it felt like. It was just like, this is so stupid. Right, and there's a few of these kind of moments, right? You know certain characters are dying because there's no development on them. That's the thing, right? In any film like this, or when they don't, when you have this big cast, right, or a big group of people, and all you essentially get on some of them is a name, you guarantee that those ones are the ones dying, right? Those are the ones that are gonna die, or at least die first, you know. And we get that, and a few of the deaths just feel so anticlimactic, right? Like in situations where, yeah, like they should know better. Right? Who's really putting themselves in that suit? Like, what are we doing? You know? So we have that happening. I don't know where the parental control is. Because you're now fucked, right? You're now on this deadly island. And also the little girl supposedly likes dinosaurs. So has done and now there's all this now information on dinosaurs because they're back in the world, and there's all these incidents have happened. So, you know what I mean? There's all of these things that the world, or anyone at least interested, would know. But you still have this girl doing some stupid fucking shit, right? Firstly, just because a dinosaur is tiny doesn't mean it's harmless. But we do want to throw a cute dinosaur in there, which again, why? Right? This dinosaur does nothing for the story. Did you want to create a plush toy out of its likeness? I don't know. But I don't know why it's there. Right? But the big thing, this little girl, keeps on disappearing and doing stupid things, putting herself in danger. I mean, like, everyone's putting themselves in danger. Like, you're on a Jurassic Island. Are you really, firstly, drinking lake water without boiling it? And are you just going into a lake? Because we know there's there's dinosaurs that live in water. So to just go into the water just feels kind of like, are you sure? Are you sure? You know? So we have that. There's just all of the, like, if lights and music suddenly comes on, surely you'd go, this could be something that attracts, right? Because you know lights and noise attract animals. We know this. So why wouldn't it be the same with dinosaurs? And why would you just keep standing there? I mean, at least look to see, okay, where could we find good accommodation shelter? Where would that building, right? So at least you know, okay, and you have a point to run, but nothing, right? There's just no sense to these people involved, right? They want to try and throw out this love interest situation, which, again, it feels so forced and rushed that you're just, I wasn't interested. I didn't give a fuck, you know? So yeah, it's one of them films just full of stuff that feels flat or doesn't make any sort of sense. Which is, I mean, it's a shame. Like, the direction was fine, right? The direction, you know, that was decent enough. But the script is just so flim-flammy, so paper thin, that, I don't know, like, the performances were fine. They're not going to set the world alight. There are, as I said, there's things that characters do that just seem stupid. Now, the actors do decent jobs with those moments, but again, it's all a bit, yeah, what are we happening, right? There's the emotional depictions from the characters. They don't do a bad job with some of this. There are some where you're just like, I don't know what that is. But that's, you know, there's so many points to this, right? Like the script, you know, like the emotional components. You know, there's so many of these that some of the flat moments on portrayals, it's the least of the issues with the film, you know? I don't think it does anything to reinvigorate or just make you reinvest with things, you know. But here's the rub, right? As I said at the beginning, like in the other Jurassics where you're now talking to dinosaurs and all of this stuff, if you like that though, right? If you enjoyed it, and there's no shame, right? Just you do you, enjoy what you enjoy. World be a boring place if we all like the same things, you know. But if you like those other Jurassic films, you'll dig this. This is for you. You know, this is for you. So I think that's the way you need to look at it. Did you vibe with the other Jurassic films? If so, you'll probably want to go check out Rebirth. If you didn't like the other films, I don't think this is going to change your mind one little bit. Don't think it's going to change things. But yeah, if you're already a fan, boom, stay on the train, people. Jurassic World Rebirth is now in the cinema, right? So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. But one thing I will point out though, right? The film, like, one of the components is a cure for heart disease. Right? One component is a cure for heart disease. I mean, one of the cures for heart disease is stop eating processed bullshit. You know what I mean? Do some exercise, right? Like, you don't have to go to a dangerous island full of deadly dinosaurs, you know, where, yeah, just get people to do a little bit extra exercise a day and stop eating processed foods. Boom. There you go, cure. Film not needed. But yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth is now in cinemas.